Listening to The Sports Nuts.
All right, and welcome to another edition of Wrestletalk. It's great to be back here. Happy New Year. And I want to say aloha to all of my friends in the Hawaii radio network, as we're going to be live here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. And it's great to have Wrestletalk live there as well. And we'll be getting into that in a few moments. First, I want to say Happy New Year to all of our fans here, not only just on the Sports Nuts, but all across the country and around the world here on the Wrestletalk show. It's the first show of 2026, and we got a lot to talk about as well. All I got to say is my name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the show, and what do you want to talk about? Let me talk to you. Yeah. All right. I'm ready. I'm excited for the first show of 2026 here on the Sports Nuts Network and all across our social media platforms. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios. You ought to call Mata today, 724-2010-500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. We're in Studio 10 here in Berlin, Maryland. And call Mata today as well for all your snow melt and UV lighting needs as well. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-2010-500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Also, Mike Dotson Realty, 410-596-1681. Call Mike Dotson Realty, Ocean City, Maryland Realtor. Listen, short-term rentals are going to be at a premium this year because the hotels are raising their prices. They have also instituted a 1% increase in the hotel tax. So that means you're going to have to dig further down into your pocket or take out a second loan in order to get a hotel in Ocean City. My advice to you is to please call Mike today and get a short-term rental. Get it booked. Get it ready if you're going down to Ocean City, Maryland. 410-596-1681, Mike Dotson Realty. All right. Also, we are sponsored by, oh, well, that ain't it. Let me see here. I think I got the right, nope, that ain't it either. Wow. I don't have the right banner here. Well, that's fine. Yep. Wait a minute here. Maybe I have it here. Yeah. Wow. All right. Never mind. Somehow or another. There it is. Big Jim's Bikes, Ocean City, Maryland, 410-289-1203. Call Big Jim's Bikes or bigjimsbikes.com. Reserve your bike or scooter. He has all types of scooters, including handicap scooters. So if you're going to Ocean City, Maryland, let's say you're going June 1st, and you want to go that week there, or whatever week you're going to go, call Big Jim or get on bigjimsbikes.com and book your scooter, especially if you're handicapped as I am, in a wheelchair. And all my handicapped brethren out there, please make sure that you get that and do that. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is is you might not get one. So if I'm you, I would do that. All right. Smokin' Jim Frazier, welcome to the program. How are you today?
Hey, thanks, Ralph. And this is my most fun thing to do all week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wrestletalk is always the best wrestling show right now, anywhere. It's the best wrestling show anywhere right now. And and now that we're part of the Sports Nuts Network, and I want to congratulate Brandon Keeler, and I'm glad to be a part of the Sports Nuts Network. Smokin' Jim, they won. They were nominated for 5 awards in the iHeartRadio Awards for podcasts and shows on social media. They won 2 awards. So 2 out of 5. That's not a bad ratio there, Smokin' Jim. So I want to congratulate the Sports Nuts for that as well, winning those iHeart Radio Awards. Okay, we are on radio stations across the country, including Terrell, Texas, 95.5 KFCE. We're also in Tiger Nation, TigerNation.com in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, 93.3 KJR in Seattle. And also we're a part of the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Aloha to all of our Hawaiian friends out there on the Hawaii Sports Network. We are also on 107.5 The Ticket in Montgomery, Alabama. Also, we are on AM 610 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are also on 105.5 The Roar in Easley, South Carolina, which we're about to be on shortly, and WGR in Buffalo, New York as well. We are on there on that station as well. And we are in several countries across China. We're also in Russia, and we're now in Australia. So I just want to let everyone know that as well, that we are also in Australia as well for all across Africa. We're also in the Samoa, American Samoa, and all across the United States and around the world as well. So don't forget to tune in. We're in the UK. We have Jill, who checks in quite often here on the emails, ralphwilliams737@gmail.com. If you have an email you want to, that's our mailbag. If you want to talk about anything connected with wrestling, comments must be the comments, the topic at hand. And we're talking wrestling right now. We're not talking about anything else. So let's keep our focus on that as well. All right. Let's see here. Felicia Ortega says, hello, how are you? All right. And Zillow says, don't worry, I'm here doing my job. All right, Zillow. Very well. Thank you, Zillow, for participating in today's show here on the Wrestletalk show. We're here again every Tuesday here on the Sports Nuts Network. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, and all across X, Twitter X, and several other social media platforms. We're on Kick as well today. Pensman Sports, Tiger Stripes Media. And I just want to let everyone know, don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. All right. Smokin' Jim, WWE Raw last night, 1-year anniversary of Netflix. Adam Pearce shows out of control again. He let Raquel Rodriguez come in, which I thought Stephanie Volker could have done that interview that she did last night somewhere else other than the ring. And I thought she perhaps put herself in some danger with that boot she got on now. And, I don't want to be her having to go up. I don't want to be Stephanie Volker having to go up against, all right. And going up against Raquel Rodriguez, who is, who is out for blood, out to get the championship, out to become champion. What were your thoughts on Raw last night, the 1-year anniversary of being on Netflix and the first one of the new year? Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. I thought that was a great match. I liked the match. I thought it was a good one. It was great to see that match happened the way it was. Becky Lynch got the women's Intercontinental title back from Maxine Dupree. I kind of suspected that was going to happen. And you still have your tag team champs, which happen to be the Usos. I'm happy that they have the belts again, and let's see where they go as they get ready to probably in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years close out their careers. They are a tag team, and it's great to see them back in the championship with the championship belts. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim? Go ahead on last night's Raw.
Yeah, wow, the year went fast, man. I was surprised when they were celebrating 1 year, man. I thought it was, I didn't think it was a year. It was great, it's outstanding, man. But I'll tell you what, man, in 2026, it's going to be very, very violent, man. It's going to be some beatings coming down the pipe, not only in the women but in the men's division as well.
Yeah, and also don't forget you got the Vision, and they're dangerous just showing up. I mean, we didn't see very much of Austin Theory. We didn't see, of course, Logan Paul. It was mostly Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and so I wasn't very. I actually was quite happy with AJ Styles what he did to Gunther, and Gunther now disrespecting John Cena, calling him names and stuff like that. And now AJ Styles has officially announced that this is his final year of wrestling. He is stepping away. He's going into a retirement year. I'm hearing Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam of this year, will be his last ever in a WWE ring. But that's okay. Because as Rodney Dangerfield says in Back to School, if the roast beef's right, they'll be back. If the money's right, they'll be back. So, I mean, but AJ Styles says
I
this
like
is his
that.
last
That
year.
was good. Give me that quote again. I like that.
If the roast beef is right, they'll be back. That's what Rodney Dangerfield said in Back to School. But if the money's right, they'll be back. So Brock Lesnar has said many times he would never wrestle again in the WWE. You come sniffing with money. Don't worry, Brock Lesnar will be back. So, but he, according to what I understand, his last match will be at SummerSlam this year. He's focusing on his meat market business, or his meat business with his butcher shops, his family's business. I recently, believe it or not, Smokin' Jim, watched a video on YouTube of him in one of his butcher shops, actually butchering up meat, showing everybody the way to do it. And it was a learning experience if you're interested in doing that. What's up? Thank you. And also hi Zillow. And and Zillow says hello. All right. And we got some of our great audience here tuning in. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on the CM Punk Braun Breaker match last night? You there, Smokin' Jim?
Yeah, say that again. I'm sorry, Ron.
That's all right.
Okay.
Your thoughts on the Braun Breaker match with CM Punk?
Here, let me get right back to you.
All right. Smokin' Jim's at the bingo match there, and he had to stamp his card there or whatever. So all right. We need to hit the bravery button. In the other words, more fighters. Absolutely, yes, indeed. I agree 100%. It's turned into a show more than wrestling. One thing about AEW, I will say, is that AEW has a lot more what they call wrestling than talking. And the thing that bothers me about WWE is now they have 3 hours of SmackDown. So my question to them is, are they going to be able to fill that 3 hours with some reasonable wrestling? They have too many wrestlers and not enough room for everybody to put into the shows. So they have, you have the Wyatts, who are the tag team champions and fighting with Solo Sikoa. And you have Cody Rhodes fighting with Drew McIntyre. And perhaps you might have Randy Orton sniffing at the title. He's back. You've got a lot of different angles that SmackDown can go. But the biggest question is, does SmackDown survive on 3 hours? It didn't before, and they bumped it back to 2. They were cutting wrestlers in and out, moving wrestlers around, cutting people in and out. And I mean, it's just it can happen like that. And that's the way it is. So it says you hated, bro, you hated that update. It was absolutely right. It's like you're being constricted high in the crowd. Absolutely. All right. So, what I'm saying is that does SmackDown for 3 hours justify itself? Oh, Smokin' Jim's back. All right. All right. You must have won at the bingo match there. So,
Hey, sorry about that, Ralph.
That's all right. All right. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on the Braun Breaker and CM Punk match last night?
Oh, man. I tell you what, man. Somebody's going to get killed, man. I tell you what. I don't know what wrestling was like when I was growing up, man. But it wasn't like it is now, man. I mean, I fear for these guys' lives, man. I mean, I don't know they say play football like every play is like your last, because it could be. Every wrestling match could be your last, man. These guys are just insanely violent, man, and I love it. And how about you?
Yeah, I do. I like it as well. I think it's I think it's more the entertainment value of it right now is better than it's ever been. The storylines are better, and with WWE, AEW starting to come across with some storylines right now. Wrestling as a whole, we've talked about this before many times, how the independent circuit is starting to come around, how several other entities of wrestling are starting to crop up all over the place. And it was nice to see Friday night on SmackDown the return of Matt Cardona, not Zack Ryder. All right, and as I had mentioned before,
Hey, Ralph, let me ask you this. How about the kids, man? When we were kids, we used to emulate the moves that we watched on wrestling, man.
Yes, we did.
Are the kids still doing that? Are they doing backflips off the porch? I mean, is it too violent? Do they have the kids in mind? Are the kids doing that? Is there kids around the country getting hurt trying to be like their favorite professional wrestler? Have you heard anything like that?
Well, here's the way I'm looking at it right now. If you look at today's kids and today's society, kids' attention span for wrestling probably lasts till they're about 10 or 12 years old. Then they start getting into computers. Then they start going on social media. Then they start using the cell phone. Then they start, what I mean? And I don't think they have the time to emulate somebody like they did when we were younger.
Good point.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe some kids do. I don't know. But I have not heard anybody getting hurt by doing a wrestling move that was done by some wrestler. Normally you would hear something like that. Okay. So, and people post things on social media. I have not seen one short, one recording, one episode of anybody emulating or imitating anything involving wrestling that I have seen. All right, at all. And I'm always on social media spreading the word, the gospel of our shows and everything else. And I'm a lot of times I'm on there doing that, and I look at this stuff and I watch what's going on. I check out shorts, I check out everything, and I promote shorts, that I want to promote and things like that, especially the ones that connect with the sports nuts and Pensman and Tiger Stripes Media and all that stuff. Okay, but yeah, I have not seen anything, and I've not heard anything. And I'm a newsworthy person. I'm always checking out the news around the country and around the world to find out what's going on, because that's the way it is. And I think once the kid reaches maybe 10 years old, may even be younger than that, they start talking on a cell phone. They start playing around on social media. You got families with parents with two jobs. They don't see their parents, so they're busy doing other things. They're not busy worrying about wrestling. I think once they get past that stage right there, I think the kids lose interest in wrestling. I've been following wrestling since I was 5 years old, and I've followed it consistently for many years and never gave up. But I never emulated anybody or did anything like high jumps from the roof of my house or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like Mick Foley did, and some other celebrities and people have done, and kids have done over the years. And I do agree with you on the fact that back in our time, people did that, and so something there, Ralphomaniacs, that kind of thing, So, but they do emulate with the You Can't See Me. They do the Hulk Hogan, like I just did there, something Hulkamaniacs, or Ric Flair, woo, they do that, but you don't see them doing any of their moves, any of their anything. I mean, at least I don't see it, and I haven't seen anything on social media. But I will admit, like I said, they do the, You Can't See Me, and yeah, let me talk to you, and all that other stuff. People do that stuff. They imitate and do those things. But as far as like wrestling,
did you see the Philadelphia 76ers basketball game where they was doing the everybody in the stands and the players was doing the who's the Usos?
Oh,
the thing they do.
They
played that music,
the
man.
Heat, the Heat thing,
It was crazy. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we tried to tell
Yeah.
Ralph
But
about
that's
this, man.
the
The
stuff-
players was doing it
That's
on the
the
bench.
stuff that they're doing, though. They're not doing the wrestling moves, jumping off roofs and trampolines and all that, like Mick Foley and all them did, like I mentioned before. But they are doing that kind of stuff, and it's Ric Flair. How many times have we heard "whoa"? How they imitate Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan
You're right.
and
You're
all that
right.
stuff. And let me talk to you. Yeah. We played the music here when we could. Nowadays, because of copyright laws, we're not allowed to really do anything here like that anymore. So we have to be very careful about what we do with music. But NWO's theme song, the Big Show, that kind of thing, and it's just a lot of different. They imitate the music, they imitate what the wrestlers do. And The Rock says, "Know your role," or something, and they'll do stuff like that. But as far as like doing high wire acts like Owen Hart did and falling from a high wire, you don't see too much of that. I mean, that's something you just don't see. But they are imitating wrestlers, and I think once and everybody's doing it. I mean, it's a world renowned thing. I mean, once everybody heard John Cena was retiring, everybody's going, "You can't see me." That went away for a while, and now all of a sudden it's back. It's like the Journey song, "Don't Stop Believing," Smokin' Jim, that went bye-byes and was an afterthought until 2006 when the Sopranos decided to have it on for their very final episode of the Sopranos, and all of a sudden everybody's buying the song. All of a sudden Journey's making all this money. All of a sudden because of the Sopranos. And how many singers and songwriters have died and passed away, and you never, like Michael Jackson, his music sold when he died before when he was alive. Elvis, when he died, his music sold more than it did when he was alive. Amy Winehouse, who was a Lush, she was a singer in a Lush. All her music sold. When I DJ'd weddings and parties, I used to go there. They'd say, "Hey, when Prince died, hey, I want to hear Prince 1999. I never played so much Prince in my life." So, when wrestlers die, when wrestlers do, like when Hulk Hogan died, everybody, "Hey, Hulkamaniac," you know what I mean? And then with WWE coordinating, bringing stars into the things, bringing in rappers, having them wrestle, when WCW brought in Karl Malone, or Dennis Rodman, several different celebrities, and Mr. T, and when they had all those folks and people that we idolized when we were younger, they're coming in and wrestling. That's what made wrestling popular as well. So, I mean, and now it's more popular than ever, and the independents are making a lot of money because, as I've said many times, more personality, more personable interaction. You don't have to pay, $500 to get an autograph or anything like that. And, yeah, right, Pensman. Really? Really, Pensman? You know what? I'm gonna look into this. But Pensman said, breaking news: John Harbaugh has been fired. So
wow.
Yeah. Pensman said John Harbaugh has been fired. So
Wow.
So Yep, he is. He's been fired. It's official. Wow, you heard it right here. Thank you, Pensman. It's official. He has been fired. I just got another word here on my from one of my Steelers sources. Just text me. Said John Harbaugh's been fired. ESPN is reporting. The New York Times is reporting. And I'm sorry to interrupt our wrestling show, but John Harbaugh has been fired. So there you go. He was their coach for 18 seasons. Wow. Jeez.
1 year shorter than Coach Tomlin, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow. Whoa. John Harbaugh has been fired. Oh, my. Woo. That's a shocker and a half, isn't it? We just talked about that on Sports Corner earlier today here, I
wonder if he quit, or did he quit or get fired?
It says he's been fired. That's what it says.
Wow.
Well, nowadays, Smokin' Jim, back when you were in business, when you worked, you always said fired. Nowadays, it's your services are no longer required, or they step down, or
right.
yeah, they step down, or or I'll tell you, here's the best one of them all. They don't put you on the schedule. That's the best one of them all. They don't put you on the schedule. Well, I haven't been on a schedule for 3 weeks. Well, didn't you know you're fired? I don't think they use the word fired anymore. I really don't. I don't see that too much. All right. We're going to be talking about AEW coming up real soon here, but don't forget to visit the Bonfire Restaurant in Ocean City, Maryland. Don't forget to visit them. Buffet style. Oh, my. They have a big buffet. All you can eat crab legs, prime rib, carved ham, roast beef, catfish. Oh, they got it all. Some delicious food. Area code 410-524-7171. They're open on weekends throughout the spring and going into the winter. But if you the Fridays and Saturdays are open, but then in the summertime they're open 7 days a week. 5 days a week. The Bonfire Restaurant. Call them today for your reservation. 410-524-7171. The Bonfire Restaurant in Ocean City, Maryland. Some great buffet.
Hey, Ralph.
Yes, go ahead, Smokin' Jim.
Can you taste the difference with that fresh fish than you had to fish around here? Can you tell the difference?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, it comes right out of the ocean. It's right here.
Wow.
I mean, it's called the catch of the day. I mean, you go any crab cakes galore down here, fish, crab legs. A lot of places have all you can eat. Shrimp.
Wow.
I mean, and I love seafood and I love fish anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. I enjoy every minute of it. So. But what you have to be careful with down here, though, Smokin' Jim, is portion size. They don't, if you go to a place that's not all you can eat, like I paid 5 years ago, I paid $14 for a crab cake sandwich on the boardwalk, and it was on a slider bun.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. It was on a slider bun.
Oh, man.
So that's the type of stuff you have to be careful with. Okay. Because down here, portions are not huge like they are in Pittsburgh. I mean, how many places in Pittsburgh can you go get a fish sandwich, and it's like you have it for 4 days? If you're not a big eater, you know what I mean. But that's what you have to be careful with down here. But it's good fish. It's great fish. It's very delicious food. I mean, it's fresh right out of the ocean. Catch of the day. crabs, crab legs, and it's great down here. With that, that's one good thing about this. And I think because I've been eating a lot of that stuff too, has also helped my health a lot as well. Because fish is good for your health. That kind of thing. So
Yes, sir. Yes,
and I like
sir.
all kinds of fish. I mean, so just ask your buddy Al Levine. He likes fish. I mean, that's all he makes is fish. Except I think except when he goes to special events. I think he eats anything when he goes to special events. But anyway, all right. What do I think of CM Punk match? I thought it was a great match. One of the better matches. What a way to start the new year off with a great match between CM Punk and Braun Breaker. And let me tell you something. Braun Breaker showed me something, Smokin' Jim. He showed me something. Did you see some of the different moves he was doing? I mean, it wasn't just a spear. He was doing all kinds of different moves. And I mean, he even came up with a couple of his dad's moves. And I'm just wondering if his dad or his uncle were teaching him a few things. You know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
I was very impressed with him. I don't like him, but I was very impressed with him. And and I thought that it was an impressive match. But I was very I'm very angry and upset with Nick Aldis right now, the general manager of SmackDown, for letting the Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre thing get completely out of control. Okay, first of all, how in the world do you justify? Okay, how do you justify when Drew McIntyre invaded somebody's personal space? Okay, that coach bus that Cody Rhodes has, that's his family in there. How dare you go into somebody's personal space, whether it's a mobile home, a coach bus, or their actual home, and assault somebody right inside their home? Okay, like that. That is their home when they're on the road. Nick Aldis did nothing about that. Then he suspended Drew McIntyre, and then somehow or another for Survivor Series, he was granted because of Paul Heyman pulling some kind of stunt and getting him for the Survivor Series match. Okay. So it says, how long is Paul Heyman going to be aligned with the Breaker group? Well, Scott, I don't see too much of Scott. I want to thank you for participating, by the way. I don't see too much of I don't see that staying very long. You know how it is. About that. And Paul, I don't think it's going to be long. I think they're going to turn on him. Braun Breaker is an ego. Bronson Reed is looking to make it, and patience right now with them two is going to become a combustible element, because you can only be patient for so long. Braun Breaker got his shot at the title. Bronson Reed has not had his shot at the title. You got Logan Paul there. You got too many egos. Now you got Austin Theory. He's an ego case. All right. And when you get too many egos in one group, what happens, Smokin' Jim? It ends up falling apart. And it does. It happens all the time. All right.
You're right.
So you're right, Paul. I don't see Paul Heyman, very long lasting with this, because the way I see it is, no pun intended, the way I see it is that I don't see it happening that way. I think he's going to dissolve himself. He's in his 60s right now. I don't know how much more he's going to stay around in the wrestling business, Paul Heyman. But another good thing about last night that I forgot to mention, CM Punk got a piece of Paul Heyman last night. That was a nice thing. But I'm very, very disappointed and very upset and very opinionated about this. Nick Aldis, you have disappointed me. I met you personally at an ROH event. You were the NWA World Champion at the time I met you. You seem like a decent guy who is fair and does what he needs to do. When you took over as general manager and TKO put you in that position, you told everybody you were going to crack the whip. Your show is just out of control as Adam Pearce's show. And the Drew McIntyre situation got completely out of hand. All right. You should have, Drew McIntyre should have been fired for going in Cody's coach bus and assaulting him in front of his family. And then you condone Cody for going to Drew McIntyre's house when you were there trying to work out a deal to bring Drew back and get him away from the suspension, because that is what Cody Rhodes wanted. Okay? I would have told Cody, you're not going to get what you want. I'm the general manager here. That's what I would have said to Cody, as much as I like Cody, because because I've always been a Dusty Rhodes fan. Okay? And I've watched good matches with his father versus Ric Flair and some of the great matches Dusty Rhodes has had over the years. Okay? And I heard in his final time on Earth that he was, you knew Drew McIntyre was a head case. Why didn't you go to the board of directors of TKO and say, hey, look, I got a head case here. What do you want me to do with him? Okay? You should have got him out of there until he got some help or do something. He's out of control. He whines and cries all the time and complains all the time about why he can't win matches. And I think that this match here should be the final match between these two. And if it continues to go on, it's going to get old to where people are not going to watch. Okay? When you do these kind of things like this, it gets old and people don't want to watch it anymore. All right? I don't like those types of things. And Nick Aldis, I'm very ashamed of you, very disappointed in you. I've respected you for many years. I met you personally a couple different times at an ROH event. I used to do security for ROH in Pittsburgh. And I got to tell you, I'm very disappointed in what you have done as general manager in this whole thing with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. And then to let the MFTs run all over the place and beat everybody up, put everybody in a hospital, that's another problem. Adam Pearce does the same thing. Why did you let that Raquel Rodriguez go in there and destroy your champion? Why did you do that? Why didn't you do something about it? He's another one. All right? These shows are getting completely out of control. And you talked about TKO cracking the whip. I don't see no whip getting cracked here. All I see is a bunch of wrestlers going into the hospital and on the injury bug, always hurt all the time and destroying wrestlers' careers. Stephanie Valcour's career could be in jeopardy here after that nonsense last night. All right. How about Cody Rhodes? How about when Drew originally did that thing to his head, okay, and put him on a shelf? He should have stayed on suspension. Where's The Rock here? Where's all these guys, these people? Where's Triple H? How come he didn't step up and say, hey, no, he stays on suspension. Paul Heyman don't run the company. Triple H runs it. TKO runs it. All right. And one of the Khan brothers runs it. Okay. They run it. They run that. Okay. TKO's in charge. All right. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, on what I had to say. I'm just furious with Nick Aldis. I'm angry with Adam Pearce about what I saw last night. That was a disgrace. Go ahead.
Well, I can't add anything to it, man. You laid it out, man. Your monologue on that was, you nailed it perfectly, man. Everything that you said was on point. I couldn't even add anything to it.
Yeah, exactly. And now Stephanie Valcour could have a shattered ankle or some kind of, broken ankle. She might be on the shelf for months. Then she got to give up the title. So Raquel Rodriguez, let me ask you a question. What did you stand to gain? Now you're going to if she has to give the belt up because she can't wrestle, you are going to have to wrestle in a tournament. Do you want to go through all that again? No. Okay. All right. So there you go. And Smokin' Jim, before we move on to AEW and TNA, I want to let everyone know this Thursday, real quick, TNA will be they're broadcasting at 9:00 p.m. this Thursday night, Eastern Time, on AMC, American Movie Classics. They have finally made it back to cable. Your thoughts, real quick, Smokin' Jim, TNA making it back to cable.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Like I said, man, quality federations and quality wrestling programs does not do anything but enhance the sport, and I love it.
All right, we're talking about wrestling here. This is Wrestletalk, is what this show is. Someone was asking, what's this about? We're talking wrestling talk here. All right. So anyway, but I do appreciate you commenting. Thank you. Also, AEW. Let's get into that a little bit. MJF, Smokin' Jim, new world champion.
The champ.
Beat Samoa Joe. I knew it was coming. And now he also not only beat Samoa Joe, he also beat Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland. Now you got Swerve and Hangman Page running around with chains, choking everybody, including security officials and all that other stuff. And what you've done here, Samoa Joe and his little gang of misfits there, what you've done is you've gone around and now you've pissed off two sleeping giants, two guys who are already combustible elements, and you made them even more and more angrier. I always say this, Smokin' Jim, and I'll say it again. Don't poke the bear. What you've done is you've not only poked one bear, Samoa Joe, you've poked two bears. And now you have two bears that are angry. They're running around with chains, choking everybody everywhere. And it's interesting there, Smokin' Jim. Your thoughts on MJF getting the title back? He deserves it. I like MJF. He makes that company what it is, I believe.
Well, let me ask you this. I know he won the championship, but what is the Triple B belt?
I'm not sure. They got
okay,
like about 1,000 belts on there now, and they got the
because
Continental
the championship
champion.
belt. Yeah, the championship belt he won. He throws that into the crowd, and then he unveils his, and it looked good to me. This Triple B belt, but
that's probably his belt. I mean, every time somebody's new as a champ, they always have their own belt. Remember when Ted DiBiase became world champion, and then he had the $1 million belt? He always had that, and then he was champ for maybe a week or 2 weeks or a month or something, and he changed the belt around. They always change it every time somebody else gets it, or they switch up on it or whatever, Yeah, they got all kinds now. They got the Continental Championship. They got the Toilet Championship. They got, whatever.
Well, that's the best thing. That's the best thing for AEW. The guy's just such a mouthpiece, man. He can, whether you love him or hate him, you're going to listen to him. And he don't mind skedoodling out of harm's way, man. He knows how to run away, too, when the heat
comes down. Man. Yes, indeed. When the heat is on, as Glenn Fry would say, the heat is on. Yes, indeed. So anyway, one other thing I wanted to talk about AEW, Jon Moxley. Congratulations to him. He won the Continental Championship belt. It's good to see Mox get his career back up and moving again, because he was losing a ton of matches here, Smokin' Jim, all across the board. And, the Death Riders faction starting to fall apart a little bit. And but Jon Moxley won the Continental belt, and Darby Allin is still getting beat up, but he's still surviving. AEW is starting to their products coming around. It's getting there. It took about 5 years, 6 years to get things done. They just celebrated their 6th anniversary. You got Kenny Omega back with the Young Bucks. You got the Jurassic Express back together. But now I hear Luchasaurus is out again, and so it's one thing after another with them. But you know what? They have put together. Look at Don Callis, his family. He keeps adding and adding to his family, and so it's. But the question I have for them is, can they find enough room? Yeah, we know it's fake hockey, Bob. We know it's fake. Wrestling is fake. We know that. We already know that. I've known that for many years. It's fake. I watched them rehearse. Before they practice this stuff, before they even put the show on. Okay? Maybe I'm not supposed to tell you that secret, but let me tell you something. And let me talk to you here about this. Okay? Yeah, it is fake. It's already predetermined who's going to win the matches. They already have that. Watch the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. Watch that once. They already know who's going to win. Okay? I've watched them rehearse and practice moves, practice what they're going to do. Okay? I've seen it. I work security for wrestling events. I know exactly what they do. They practice this stuff. Okay? It's already predetermined. You already know what's going to happen. Whoever's hot is going to continue to be hot. Whoever's cold is not going to get a lot of matches. They're not going to win a lot of matches. And some of this stuff, it's fake. But you know what's interesting too, Hockey Bob? Let me tell you this much. It's fake, but it sells. It's fake, but people go to them. It's fake, but people buy their souvenirs. It's fake, but parents take their kids there. It's fake, but people pay $700 for a front row ringside seat per seat. It's fake, but it makes money. And that's all that counts, is that it makes money. It's entertainment that people enjoy. They enjoy fake. They enjoy drama. You want to know what wrestling was once classified as, Smokin' Jim? A male soap opera. That's what it was once classified as.
I didn't know that.
So you think about that. Who watches wrestling more than anything? Males, men,
Yeah,
kids, boys.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
You're right. I mean, you know, and over the last maybe 10 years, women's wrestling has gotten stronger. But before that, it was all men. Men watched wrestling. Men followed it. You know what I mean? It's a male soap opera. All right? One time, years ago, many, many years ago, there was a wrestler named Dr. D. David Schultz. Dr. D. David Schultz ended his career. He broke his shoulder in wrestling and never came back. He became a bounty hunter and got killed. He went into some project in Chicago, and he ended up getting killed. He was a bounty hunter. Okay? And he was on 2020. And they were investigating Vince McMahon and why he was deceiving people with fake product like the WWE. And when they went, well, at the time it was the WWF. So what they did was they went ahead and they interviewed Dr. D. David Schultz, and they said, what's your comments or what's your thoughts on the fact that everyone says that wrestling is fake? And Dr. D. David Schultz punched a reporter out and knocked him out and said, is that fake? Okay. The only part of wrestling that's fake is that it's predetermined. It's predetermined as to who the winner's going to be. They already know that before the match even gets started. They know who's going to win and who's going to lose. Okay? All right? So, but it's not fake. You see somebody jumping off the top rope and smashing somebody. Is that fake? Is that fake when you see Bronson Reed doing tsunamis on somebody's chest? Is that fake? Is that fake when you see somebody being carried out on a stretcher with a neck brace? Is that fake? The only part of this that's fake is it's predetermined. And I know that because I've seen it with my own eyes. And I've been seeing it for years. I've known that for many, many years, that it was fake. It wasn't as bad. That's right. And that's the bottom line, Mike, because Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim said so. All right. Yes, exactly, Hockey Bob. Single men get into it as a soap opera. They have no life, so they get into it as it's a male soap opera. All right? But the popularity of it has gotten more and more now because of the independent circuit as well. And more people now are going to those independent matches, as I've mentioned every show, because it's more. If you have a family of 6 kids or 8 kids or 10 kids or even 4 kids, in today's economy, you can't afford that kind of stuff. So are you going to take somebody to PPG Paints Arena to see CM Punk and pay what, $200 for a ticket? I'm just using it as an example now. I'm not sure what the prices are these days, okay, in Pittsburgh. And you're going to take somebody there or to Baltimore or wherever, okay, and you're going to spend that kind of money when you go to an independent event, sit closer to the ring, interact with the stars, pay $20, $15 to get in for a full wrestling 3-hour wrestling card. Okay, refreshments are what, a dollar for a hot dog rather than paying $20 for a hot dog. Okay, all right. So if you're somebody that has kids like that, that's where independent wrestling is at. Okay, and that's all predetermined too. They all are. It's all about entertainment too. It's entertaining. So what if it's fake? It's entertaining. There's a lot of fake stuff out there. but it's entertaining. There's a lot of fake stuff out there, but it's entertaining. You see what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but anyway, we've got about less than 5 minutes left in the show here, Smokin' Jim. Any final thoughts here about anything? And it says here, Hockey Bob says, no, I don't go anymore because it's $300 the last time I went. See, there you go. That's why people don't follow wrestling anymore. Again, if you talk to anybody out there, if you talk to anybody that's in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, some even in their 30s, and you say, or 40s, and you say to them, hey, I watch Monday Night Raw. Oh, I haven't watched wrestling since Hulk Hogan. Okay? Since the 80s. I haven't watched wrestling since WCW. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time. Okay? But wrestling is a trend. Okay? It's like in the bar business. You had wine bars, they were trendy. You had clubs that were trendy. You had whatever that was trendy. It was a trend thing. Wrestling is built on trends. There's different trends of wrestling, different ways, different times, different years, different millenniums of wrestling. Right now, half the people that follow wrestling right now probably don't even know who Ric Flair is, because some of the younger kids, because they weren't there to watch Ric Flair. I know who Ric Flair is. Smokin' Jim knows who Ric Flair is. There are a lot of people know who Ric Flair is. Okay? And some of these wrestlers who chose not to be out in the big limelight back in the day, the Bruno Sammartinos of the world, and the Ivan Putskis and the superstar Billy Graham and Lou Albano and all of them, they don't want to be out there shaking hands with people. They did their thing on wrestling and they went home. Okay? But now it's a spectacle. And when you drag in celebrities and you, as I said earlier, you drag in athletes, as I said earlier, okay? You drag in all these things, okay? This is what I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling. Smokin' Jim, final thoughts before we wrap it up here, because we're going to wrap it up right now here.
Well, I tell you what was entertaining. You were entertaining tonight, brother. You had me on my edge of my seat, man. I enjoyed it, and just maybe next week we can talk about a little bit of SmackDown and what you think about him winning the championship on SmackDown. So whether he's going to hold that title for a while or not.
Who, Cody Rhodes?
No, the guy that was with the tag team partner with Miz won the championship. From NXT, the guy with the sunglasses.
Yeah. You mean Femi?
Yeah.
Oba Femi, I think it is.
No, small guy. He always says he takes that shot and don't miss. That guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who you're talking about.
His name, yeah. He calls himself him now when he comes out.
Yeah. Well, Trick Williams right now has.
Yeah, remember he was Trick Williams' partner.
Trick Williams, yeah.
Trick Williams was his sidekick on NXT for. Trick's big.
Carmelo Hayes. He was Carmelo Hayes' sidekick too. Carmelo Hayes just won the title.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, I like Carmelo Hayes. I'm glad he won the title. I was not a big fan of this Ego Ugunov or whatever his name is coming back and winning this title after he just got injured. You know what I mean? And you know what they say, you go to the bottom of the heap whenever you're hurt or whatever, in some cases, and I think he should have went to the bottom of the heap. And I think they're going to make more money off of Carmelo Hayes than they are off of Igor Ugunov or Igor Buganov or whatever his name is, Dragunov or whatever, or Buganov or whatever, so, but that's just my opinion. I like Carmelo Hayes, and I'm glad he finally won a championship. I'm glad he did. Carmelo Hayes was teamed up with Miz for a little while there. Until they screwed each other around. Miz is a character too now, he don't wrestle as much as he used to. I think he's ready to retire real soon. He don't wrestle much anymore. I don't know if those of you who don't know, and I don't know if I should say it here, if appropriately, but he got himself a vasectomy. Supposedly, Maurice had a difficult pregnancy with her second child, and he decided to go out and get a vasectomy. So since then, he hasn't wrestled as much as he normally does.
Is that why they call him little? Is that why they call him Little Balls?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why they call him.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you remember that one time when they had that celebration, and they had on the cake there was a set there, and they were cutting it into half the set. That's that was meant at him, you know. Yeah. But that's a true story. Maurice had a very difficult pregnancy, and she said she didn't want any more kids. So it was either she get a hysterectomy or get her tubes tied, or he goes and gets a vasectomy. So I guess he said they're satisfied with the two kids they have, and decided that that's what he was going to do. And he hasn't wrestled very much since, and that's going on almost 2 years now. He was out for a while after that.
Yeah,
I mean, he was out for months, and but that's, but he, that's what happened with Miz, and that's why they call him those names like that. And it's, he plays the character very well. I mean, he is a good actor. I've seen him in those Marine movies. He's a pretty decent actor. You know what I mean? They all become actors. Look at Roman Reigns. He's acting now. Look at MJF. He's acting now. Look at a few other guys. Braun Strowman's acting. I heard Sheamus is going to start acting once he ends his career. Everybody that's Hulk Hogan acted. Kevin Nash has been in movies. Stone Cold Steve Austin was an actor. The Rock. I mean, I can name you probably even more of folks who, guys who became actors. Adam Copeland was in a couple movies. Edge. I was very disappointed last night too. Smoking Jim, real quick before we go. Where was Chris Jericho? There was all this hype about he was supposed to be here last night, and he didn't show. He wasn't there. And now I'm hearing it'll be Royal Rumble, because supposedly his contract had just run out right before the year ended with AEW, and he wasn't being used on AEW anyway. In fact, he was down to being the ROH champion, and and they ran the learning tree and all that stuff, and I think they ran out of gimmicks for him. And I think what happened was he just he said he wants to end his career. He's in his 50s. I think he wants to end his career and go and sing with Fosse, his rock band, and enjoy the rest of his life. He wants to retire in WWE. The Hardys have said they want to retire in WWE. And but again, it was great to see Friday night Matt Cardona back. As you know, Chelsea Green is his wife, and it was great to see him back. He said he would come for one match as Zack Ryder to fight John Cena, and then after that, he came into some other stuff, and then he was in the independent circuit. He was in every wrestling organization across the country and around the world. He won like 8 belts. He was another Mercedes Moné, who, by the way, lost another belt. She's down to almost, she's losing them one after the other here. So, All right, Smokin' Jim, thank you for being part of the program, and thank you, part of the Sports Nuts Network, and everyone else out there across the country and around the world for participating in today's Wrestletalk show. Until next week, for Smokin' Jim Frazier, I am Ralph Williams, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our social media pages as well. Help us get to our goals, to where we need to be. And please, by all means, be safe. Thank you. And once again, have a good one.